Again, you don't need to pop pills to be healthy. You could take the advice of this cartoon, which says, you have a serious vitamin deficiency, eat as much breakfast cereal as you can. Okay? So you'll get all your vitamins, but you also get all the sugar and the processed flour and blah, blah, blah. Don't take that advice. Okay? Even your cereals, be careful. Just because something is fortified with vitamins doesn't make it good for you. Okay, anybody hear the free radical theory? The free radical theory states that organisms age because cells accumulate free radical damage over time. Okay, so what is this free radical all the time? Free radical, everything's free radical. Okay, the world is about to be done in by free radicals. So I say, free radicals, I wonder what they're talking about. Oh, these type of free radicals. But no, it's not those type of free radicals. In fact, this whole concept of free radicals was bothering me so much that one day at 3 o'clock in the morning, this is a true story, I pop up in bed and I go, what's the story with free radicals? Everybody talks about these free radicals. I get out of bed, I go to the computer and I start doing research. Free radicals, good or bad for you? Hold on a second. Good or bad? Both.
I don't know what
Free, well, okay, let's talk about free radicals. Those of you, last week it was high school biology, now it's high school chemistry. Those of you who remember the shape of an atom, when you have those two on the right side there, you see those two little blue things, and one of them is circled. When one of those leaves the atom, that atom becomes a free radical because in its natural state it wants to have two little things together, and when it's by itself it's not very happy and it looks to do bad things. Okay, the free radical, as I found out that 3 o'clock in the morning, I sat there from 3 to 6 o'clock in the morning studying this, is part of our immune system. It's how we fight infection. We don't want to screw around with our basic free radicals. We need them. There's a theory we talked about last week that we're constantly developing cancer and that our immune system is defeating that cancer. So we don't want to screw around with free radicals in their basic form. But unfortunately, because we live in a society where the air is not clean and the food is not clean and the water is not clean, we're getting problems. This was the free radicals, good or bad for you. What causes free radicals, excess free radicals? Detergent and agricultural chemicals, ultraviolet rays. Major operation, putting stress on your body that can cause free radicals. Smoking and alcohol. Food additives. Stress. Illness. Harmful smoke. Bacteria infection. So there are many things that can cause free radicals. Antioxidants. Okay, and everything antioxidant. The whole world. Antioxidants, antioxidants, antioxidants. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's made out of lard. But if it's got antioxidants, you're okay. This is what created the obesity epidemic in the United States. They said, don't eat fat foods. Eat all the carbohydrates you want. It's all about fat. Okay, so they're going crazy about antioxidants. There's a problem with it. Something called hormesis. So some of you may remember, maybe I gave the example last time. Think of your immune system as an army ready to fight on your behalf. And think if you suddenly tell that army, we don't need you to fight for a while. So they start sitting around, they eat too much, they get heavy, they get lazy, they don't take care of their weapons don't work very well anymore. That's hormesis. Take a lot of antioxidants, particularly the synthetic stuff, and you cause hormesis, which means that your normal response and immune system no longer functions properly. Some recent studies tend to show that antioxidant therapy have no effect and can even increase mortality. Proponents of the theory claim that this phenomenon can be explained by hormesis. The addition of antioxidants can lead to a decrease of normal biological response to free radicals and lead to a more sensitive environment of oxidation. Basically, they're screwing around with your immune system. So, the question is, got antioxidants? Well, apparently we do because everybody thinks it's the best thing on earth. Just throw the word antioxidant on it, okay? Tropicana orange juice, dark chocolate raisins, Crunch cereal, Splenda, Splenda now has antioxidants. Nescafé, labeled antioxidants. I mean, has the world gone crazy? I don't know. Tell me. Here's a couple of good cartoons to make the point. If you're into preparing healthy meals, then I recommend the apricot brandy. It contains the antioxidant beta-carotene. Here's another one. Powerful antioxidants can promote good health found in chocolate. Wait, this just in. Harmful saturated fats found in chocolate. Do we need to ingest supplement pills containing antioxidants to be healthy? No. No. Okay, let's talk about the concept of natural versus healthy. Everybody says, if it's natural, it must be good for you. And I say, not. Healthy is not natural. Why do I say that? These are lovely looking berries. Can I interest anybody in these berries? They're poison. And they're natural. Naturally poisonous. How about that? How about this? This is natural. Very pretty. It's called the foxglove plant. We make digitalis out of it. A very, very powerful drug to treat heart failure. So just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good for you. So don't be fooled by the words natural when you see it on a product. How about herbal medicine? Okay? I'm going to read you some stuff about herbal medicine. Herbal medicine, also referred to as folk medicine, some refer to as botanical medicine, some as phytotherapy. We know that plants have evolved an ability to synthesize chemical compounds to help defend them against predators, plants and whatnot. I mean, against bugs and stuff like that. It turns out that some of these compounds are actually helpful in having beneficial effects when we take them. There's 12,000 of these compounds already been identified, which is less than 10% of the ones we think exist on Earth. But here's the bottom line. Herbal medicines very often are very similar to the drugs we take. Okay? This property that they get from the plants that protect themselves enables herbal medicines to be, in principle, just as effective as conventional medicines. But guess what? That also gives them the same potential to cause harmful side effects. And so the bottom line is, people say drugs are terrible, drugs are terrible, drugs are terrible. It's not the drugs are terrible. Drugs are good. Taking them when you don't need them, taking them in dosages that you don't need is what's terrible. But what we do know about drugs, even though sometimes we find out afterwards that they do cause side effects, like thalidomide that caused the birth defects in the 60s and 70s, okay? Sometimes the studies done under FDA guidance aren't perfect. But the bottom line, they go through this rigorous testing process, and all adverse effects have to be reported. And these adverse effects then become public knowledge. But you go to a Chinese botanist or herbalist, he may have something that actually has medicinal properties. But how do you know if anybody's had any problems with it? His experience is usually his own experience. They're not required to report it. So what I'm trying to tell you, yes, they do have medicinal properties, and some of our drugs come from it, but given a choice between a FDA-reviewed and tested product that also goes through rigorous manufacturing versus the alternative, I'm going to choose the pharmaceutical every time. How about allopathy versus homeopathy? Allopathy is considered traditional medicine. Okay. The basic principle of homeopathy is based on something called the law of similars, and it was created by a German physician named Samuel Hahnemann. Hahnemann said that if you take a chemical and you put it in a test tube and you dilute it, and you dilute it again and dilute it again and dilute it again and dilute it again, and you give it to somebody, somehow that's going to protect them. Well, when I first heard that, I said, wow, that sounds very much like a vaccine. We take a diluted virus, and then we inject it and we create an immune system. The difference is Hahnemann was talking about chemicals. Vaccines react to proteins. And in fact, with homeopathy, they dilute the essence of the chemical so much that there is in essence no chemical left in the thing that you're taking. And so this cartoon I thought was very appropriate. One of the great things about homeopathy is that because the remedies don't actually do anything, there's no need to worry about nasty side effects. Okay. Why most dietary supplements aren't worth the money. This is an article that appeared in Time magazine September 1st, 2011. It's a great article. This guy decides he's going to do an experiment. He's going to take 3,000 supplements over a 5-month period to see what happens. Okay? And he takes blood work before he starts, and he takes blood work after he starts. So guess what happened to his blood work? Nothing. No change. He reports that he felt like he had more energy, but he admits that maybe it was just psychological. But he also gained 15 pounds. And he says the reason he gained 15 pounds is something called the lysosine effect. I'm taking all these incredible vitamins and supplements. It doesn't matter what I eat. How many of you, by a show of hands, because you're on a statin, you say to yourself, I can eat that thing with the saturated fat, the ice cream, the cheese, the pizza, the steak, because I'm on a statin, it's protecting me. Anybody? Anybody ever do that because they feel that they're somehow protected by it? Wrong. You're not protected by it. Okay? And so this was a great article just published a few months ago where the guy learned firsthand that these things don't do anything for you. Another article just came out of Taiwan that actually popping a multivitamin can lead to debauchery. Believe it or not. These people who were taking these multivitamins, they thought, you know, it's like driving one of those SUVs in the early days, even though they were toppling over. You said, I'm in this big car, I'm safe. Except as you made this sharp turn, your car turned over. It's the same thing. These multivitamins give you a false sense of security, with emphasis on the word false. They don't protect you. Let's do a quick case study here as we begin to wrap this up. 70-year-old man comes in to see me, and I've changed the number of facts here. Has difficulty sleeping after the passing of his wife, some back pain, his cholesterol is normal, he eats some chicken and lots of fish 4 times a week. So of course, most doctors will say, oh, you lost your wife, that's terrible, you're probably having trouble sleeping because of it. Let me give you something for sleep. Or let me give you something for anxiety. So what is this patient taking? Vitamin D3, of course, because everybody's got to take vitamin D3, right? Centrum Silver, which also contains vitamin D3. Sleeping pill. Well, in this particular case, and I hope the patient may remember this particular incident, I pick up the bottle of sleeping pills that he had, and I look at it and it says diphenylhydramine. Anybody know what diphenylhydramine is? No. Benadryl. Somebody gave her sleeping pills. The bottle says sleeping pill, gave her Benadryl. So let me tell you about Benadryl. For some people, it'll put you to sleep, but it'll wake you up in 6 hours. Boom. Okay? Crazy. Crazy. Vitamin B12. Why? She's eating fish 4 times a week and she's eating chicken. She doesn't need vitamin B12. Fish oil. Cholesterol is normal. You need fish 2 to 3 times a week to get to sufficient amount of fish oils, but the person heard. Fish oil, fish oil, fish oil. How many people on fish oil? Why? Because you heard it was good for you.
And I eat fish.
What?
For aches and pains.
For aches and pains too. Okay. Realize anything that you take by mouth for aches and pains means that it's suppressing the immune response, just like an ibuprofen does. And if it's suppressing the immune response for the aches and pains, it's usually suppressing the immune response for the normal way that your immune response operates. Saw palmetto.
Does it lower your cholesterol?
It does lower your cholesterol, but if your cholesterol is low or you're on a statin already, why not take the fish oil as opposed to the cholesterol? Instead of the statin. Anybody heard of Lavazza? Lavazza, one person raised. Lavazza is amazingly enough, is a prescription for fish oil that you could buy for a fraction of the cost on the counter. It is a prescription that doctors are writing to people. Why not try a fish oil first? No, excuse me. Why not eat fish, wild Alaskan salmon, before you go on the fish oil, before you went on the statin? How many of you did the doctor say to you before they put you on the statin, listen, before I put you on this drug that you're probably going to stay on for the rest of your life, let's try to get you to eat fish. And I personally, I said to my wife the other day, I should get a percentage because I tell everybody to eat these wild Alaskan salmon burgers sold by Costco.